1600 KIVA, 93.7 FM, the web, the app, rockotalk.com. I'm Eddie Aragon, the Rocker Talk. Here's my two favorite people, Tego and Tracy Venturi, the Venturi Real Estate Group from Keller Williams Realty. You can pick up the phone and dial them directly. Listen for the number 448-8888. That's 448-8888. Or as always, you can find them at welcomehomeabq.com. That's welcomehomeabq.com right here in the Kiva each and every week or Saturday at 10 a.m. Tego, Tracy, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Good morning, Eddie. How are you? You had a great week. You had an interesting week, but we had an interesting week too because real estate kind of is back, sort of, kind of.
We're essential again.
Okay. Yeah, right. We're all essential. We have to provide for our families and things like that. But what's really essential, and I'm finding, is this is a time where you need the most amount of expertise, and this is the time where you have to have people who've been through transactions because this is uncharted territories. The interesting graph this week, I think Teagle will probably speak to it just on the unbelievable lack of inventory there on the market. We should talk about how that's driving the market. We'll, of course, have the homes of the week, and as always, the market updates from the Statomatic. Tego Venturi taking it away. Tego, Tracy, take it.
And one other highlight this week we want to talk about is getting your home ready for photography. We talk about merchandising a lot, right, Eddie, when you're thinking about selling. So we're going to go through that. Also, we want to talk about 5 reasons you should sell your home this holiday season. And there's some very solid reasons you should be thinking about that and not putting it off.
So
let's jump into it.
Where do we start?
Where do we start? Oh my gosh, Tracy, so much. Can we start with market data?
Please, sure. I know it's December.
Please, can we?
You always have the jump on the stats because you do them yourself instead of waiting for everything to be released.
Yeah, I go and get the data. I've got, as you know, I've got subscriptions to a couple different software programs to that I can get some data. One of the things I get, which I really like, and we'll talk about here, is the actual data on the homes currently on the market, not what happened last month, not what happened, in the past, which obviously is important. But I want to know if there's any trends changing. Are we seeing prices go down? Are we seeing a build in inventory? Are we seeing a lot of price reductions? Because all those things foretell the future for the real estate market.
Right. So. Real time's great. And I'm sure you're going to get into this, but what we know is this is the time of year where we do see home prices on average come down a little bit every month until about March.
Exactly.
Right. So. And it hasn't happened yet. We're actually behind normal cycles.
We are behind normal cycles. Normally, coming into late summer, we're going to see homes reduce their price. They went on the market. They might have pushed it a little bit for the price. Both the realtor and the homeowner, chose a price that just is maybe a little bit ahead of the market. And then we'll see some reductions. We have seen some reductions this year. Not as much as we have in previous years. But the reality is there's still about 40% of the homes that are on the market have had a price reduction.
That's a huge number.
It is. But that's actually lower than normally this time of year. It's going to be around 50%.
So of all the news we hear and what we talk about every week, we hear that homes are selling very quickly if they're priced right for the condition and location, right?
Yep.
So to know that 40% of the homes coming on the market are having price reductions would say that those were not priced for the market condition location.
Exactly. Well, and what's happened is we've had such a run up in home prices. So let me go through some of the data here, Tracy, so we can actually talk about this. So we've seen prices over the last year go up somewhere around 8%, 8.5% overall. So that's a year over year, rolling 12 months through November. There's certain segments that have gone up more. There's certain segments that have not gone up that much, but pretty much across the board. And when I talk about segments, I'm talking about different price ranges. We've seen more increase, obviously, in the lower price homes. Right. And less increase in the higher priced homes. but 8% across the board, 8.7, something like that. The one area of the market, Tracy, and I know you know, this is an important market to you. It's an important market to everybody because it really tells, you know, I think kind of the overall strength of the economy. Maybe not so much, but it's the luxury market.
Right.
I don't know. What do you think? Do you think that's really something that if the luxury market is strong, does that mean that it's just the rich people that are doing well, or does it, you know,
this is a topic I don't think we should get into.
I don't want to go there.
So
but
what
no,
we do know is the 10-year trend for homes in our market above 500,000, many more have sold this year than we normally see sell in a year.
If you look at the November through November, this is, again, a rolling 12 months. So it's last December through this November. The number of homes that have sold over $500,000, which we consider our luxury market here in Albuquerque, is up. It's almost 1,000 homes. That's up 38% versus 2019.
Yep. It's big numbers. That's 300 more homes selling
Yep.
than last year above 500,000.
And if you look at the number of homes pending, well, here, let's just talk about the annualized, same thing, where the pending sales up 40%. The interesting one to me, Tracy, let me go back here and find it. It was November pending sales. This is this November, just that we passed.
I just saw the number. It's crazy.
I know. It's this November versus last November. So it's same month, but a year ago. This year we're up 86% in the number of homes going pending over 500,000. But if you look at homes over 1.3 million, which is, let's call that our ultra luxury for the Albuquerque market, which is kind of funny because that's a starter home in some places, Silicon Valley. But 1.3, our ultra luxury, we've had 150% increase in the number of those homes that went pending in November versus last year.
So we're talking about 10 houses versus 4 houses last year.
Exactly.
So 10 houses over 1.3 million went pending in November.
I can remember back, let's say 2008, 9, you know, when the market was rough.
I remember we had like 30 in the whole year.
Yeah, like in the entire year, it was like over 1 million. It was like 20 houses or something like that. Yeah.
So to give numbers to that, so over 1 million, 13 houses went pending in November.
Which
last
is
November.
116% increase over last November.
Which was 6.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
113. The 1.3 and above is 10 with 4 last year.
Yep.
But the over 500,000, 112 went pending in November.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
big increase.
The thing that's interesting, and just to wrap up this conversation about the luxury market, anybody that's doing business in the real estate market here in Albuquerque, I mean, there's about 4,000 realtors, and I can't say that, you know, there's really a handful that really know that luxury market like we do. They know that the luxury market has been on fire this year. We know this. And if we look at the month supply of inventory, which is the gauge of, you know, supply versus demand, homes over 1 million is at 7 months supply, which is the lowest I can ever remember seeing. And they say a balanced, you know, market. So technically that means it's still a buyer's market,
right,
in that price range.
And so let's talk about that. You know, one of the reasons perhaps we're seeing so many in that over 500 is because the cost of money.
Yeah,
you know, think about the opportunity right now to get into your dream home. You know, the houses are on the market. We have 7 months supply over 500,000.
Yep.
And we have interest rates that are crazy low, even jumbo loans where you're borrowing most of the money for a house over 500,000.
Yep.
Those rates are exceptionally low.
Yeah, the jumbo loans are available. There was a point there back in April where it was a little bit sketchy, April, May, where, you know, some of the banks had pulled back on those jumbo loans.
Right.
Which is, you know, what, 510 and above. By the way, that number's going up.
Right. It's going up. Yeah, and FHA limits are going up too.
Well, yeah, so
big.
We digress. Now, just one last thing to just put a bow on the whole market stats. I mean, the real story of the real estate market in Albuquerque right now, December, 2020, is super low supply of homes on the market. Right now it's at a historic level. I mean, you could go back 20 years and still not see this few homes on the market at any given time.
So this century.
This century, this millennia.
There we go.
Anyway, yeah, I mean, it's pretty interesting. Which, Tracy, I think that leads right into the next topic, which was 5 reasons to sell your home this holiday season.
It's a great topic, very, very timely. We're into the holidays.
Yep.
And it snowed this week. It got colder. We're having below normal temperatures this week.
We had above normal for a while there.
For quite a while.
Yeah.
So some of the reasons, a lot of times our market, all the buyers and sellers think it's not the right time to put your home on the market. And some of the reasons, Tego.
Well,
homes.
I'll tell you why people think that is because home sales do slow down through the winter. However, let's counteract that or contradict that, and why it's a good reason.
Sure. So, one of the best reasons is a lot of people have time off work and holiday days where they are available to go and look at homes for sale. And they have the opportunity to make that change. It's sort of a good transition point in their work and school schedules. This year, things are unusual, but we are seeing a lot more home sale activity this time of year, like we just talked about on the stats versus last year.
So that was one reason. It was buyers are active in the market right now, right?
That's right. That's one of the 5 top reasons. Another, think how great many of the homes are showing during the holidays. People say, should I decorate or shouldn't I? And think how festive and happy the houses feel while they are decorated for the holidays.
For sure. No, and I think that's an important takeaway. In years past, we've thought about that, and over the years we've realized that having a nice holiday decoration just makes the home feel warm, inviting. And that's what you want when you're selling your home. Yeah.
Another reason?
Okay, well this one's mine. This one's mine. There aren't enough homes on the market. So that just goes back to our previous conversation about the ultra low number of homes on the market in Albuquerque. And then again, ties back to what you just said. The buyers are in the market right now. Buyers are still looking. There's a lot of buyers out there waiting for the right home to come on the market. And so, getting your home on the market is going to put you ahead come springtime.
That's right. Which is another reason to be selling now, right? Less competition.
Yep. And so, come, late winter, early spring, we'll start to see more homes come on the market. There'll be more competition. And so there's no downside to putting your home on the market through the holiday season. Is that fair to say?
Sure. And the desire to own a home during the holidays is very high.
Oh, absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
A lot of times people are thinking about making those memories in a home. So another reason to have your home on the market over the holidays.
Yeah.
Give us a ring.
Yeah. Well, it's the desire to own a home doesn't go away just because it's the holidays. If anything else, maybe it's something it's more top of mind, especially this year.
Right.
Yeah.
For sure.
So
you can reach us, 448-8888. This is Tracy and Tego Venturi, Albuquerque Real Estate Talk, right here on the Kiva every Saturday morning.
Yep.
We'd be happy to talk with you about whatever you want to talk about as far as real estate.
If you want to talk real estate, just give us a shout. That's what we do.
Yeah. 448-8888.
And just to wrap that, we're Venturi Realty Group. We're also with Keller Williams Realty, and we're part of that family of companies, and proud to be, because they're a great company. Okay, Tracy, we've got a topic. I'm gonna load it up for you. Okay, can we do this or something like that? I promise I won't introduce you. I won't interrupt you. I will.
Right.
That was kind of Freudian. I'm not going to introduce you. I'm just going to keep talking. How's that? Okay. So this comes up a lot. Is we talk about merchandising a home when you're going to be putting it on the market, But a really key part, especially today, is having great photography, great virtual tours of the home. And so you wanted to talk about prepping your home for photography.
Right. So we want to make sure the first impression counts. And these days, the first impression is photography. Most home buyers are online shopping. They are looking at the photos and deciding if a home matches what they're looking for and deciding whether or not it's a home they want to keep on the short list. So they're looking at the photos, they're looking at the virtual immersive walkthrough tours.
Yep.
And oftentimes that's how they're deciding. You know, Tego, we have people who've actually bought houses who've never put foot in the house until they're already under contract to purchase the house. So talking about photos is really critical. And one of the things that we really talk to our sellers about, because when that photographer shows up, we want the house ready. We don't want the photographer to show up and say, hey, you need to clear everything off your kitchen counter now. We want to tell you ahead of time and make sure that the photos shine. One of the things that's really important, Tego, is...
Can I give an analogy on that? It's like when you're getting ready to sell your car. You have to detail your car. You have to get it ready. You got to make it look its best. And this is part of that, right?
Totally. Yep. So one of the things, too, that's really important is if the weather is overcast, gray, snowy, the day you're supposed to have the photos taken of your house to put it on the market, we want to change that. We don't want to let the photographer go on a gloomy day. The whole aura of the house shows in those photos, and they're going to feel gloomy.
Yeah, well, we live in New Mexico, and one of the beauties is this beautiful crystal clear blue sky that we get, 300 and whatever days a year. And, one out of whatever 15 days, we get one of those overcast days. Don't do that. I see homes that are on the market that have been on the market a long time, and you go and look at the photography of those homes, and it was photographed on a gloomy, overcast day, and you're really doing yourself a disservice if you let that happen.
Right. So the following the rules to prepare your home for the best real estate photos. So in general, obviously you want to clean the house, right? Have it all clean. Make sure the windows are clean. Turn on overhead lights. Turn on all the lamps before the photographer shows up. Make sure you replace all the burned out bulbs so that all the lights work. The brighter, the better typically, right? Turn off ceiling fans, turn off computers, turn off TVs. You don't want that kind of distraction in your photos when the photographer comes, and they don't want to have to tell you, hey, you need to do all these things now that I'm here. They want to get the photos and make sure the photos are great. Open blinds, window treatments, that's where making sure the windows are clean, ready to go. Remove personal photographs if you can. One or two probably isn't going to hurt. But in general, if you have a lot of family portraits up, you're going to want to take them down because the buyers want to see themselves there. And in photos, taking photography of the house, showing all these photos can be distracting as well.
Yeah.
A lot of times people are zooming in to see what's on the wall.
Can I say something? I don't know. Just talking about knickknacks and clutter. Something to keep in mind when you're looking at photography versus actually being in the space. It's going to look a lot more cluttered in a photograph, okay?
Right.
Because a two-dimensional plane versus a three-dimensional space. And so, maybe you go into a room and you say, well, there's a lot of stuff in here, but it doesn't, there's a lot of volume and a lot of air in this room, and it doesn't feel so cluttered. But in a photograph, it may look very cluttered because now all of that stuff is on a two-dimension plane. So just something to think about is, I would say, over-declutter.
Exactly. So thinking of the kitchen, this is an example of where you would really want to do that. You want to take everything off the countertop. No knife blocks, no baking supplies, no cooking supplies. If you must leave out a coffee pot, fine, but really take everything off. Take everything off your refrigerator. Take down all the little hand towels everywhere, because what Tego just said, it looks like clutter in a photo, but when you're in person, the hand towels are gorgeous, right?
I used to take our photos, right, Tracy?
I do remember
back in the day, and the thing that I used to remember happening is you take a photo, and there'd be a red towel hanging on the range, for example. which is very common. There's a towel on the range. And when I would take the photo, I wouldn't think much of it. And then I'd get back and start editing the photos, getting them ready. And I'm going, oh my gosh, that's all I see when I look at this photograph now is that red towel hanging on the range. So,
right.
Yeah.
So to finish the kitchen, right?
Yes.
Put away garbage cans, put away dog dishes, dog bowls, dog beds. Just remove everything you can. And, if you have to hide in the dishwasher for the photographer, hide it in the dishwasher. Bathroom, same thing. Put things away. Don't have anything out on the counter. Put the toilet seat down. Close all the closet doors. Remove any garbage cans, any dirty towels. It's best if you can, before photos, go get some fresh, clean towels, maybe of a color for the bathroom.
Yep.
They do tend to enhance a bathroom look. Bedrooms, obviously, you want to make the beds, have them crisp and clean. Clear the nightstands of anything. Store away any phone charging, tablets, things like that. Just remove all the clutter from the dresser. Put away family photos. Hide it under the bed if it doesn't show there, right?
I used to take, for like the kitchen sink, for example, you've got your soap and you've got your sponge and this and that. And I would just like put them down in the sink so they didn't show up on the photo.
Which is great.
Yeah.
Put them under the sink, put them in the sink somewhere so they don't show up.
Yeah.
And then there's the pets, which we briefly talked about. Put away things for the photographer. Obviously, when you're having your house shown, it's a little bit different. But if you have crates, dog beds, dog bowls, put them away. Put away the dog food. Get it cleared up. And then we've got the outside, right? So first impression, we want to make sure that front photo is great. We don't want any cars in the driveway.
The hero shot.
It's the hero shot.
Cars in the driveway is a big no-no.
What about if the driveway has oil stains all over it? Maybe there's a way to Photoshop them out.
Well, there is,
but if there's a way to just put some flour or something on them.
I wouldn't want to do that because then you're misrepresenting. So I would say if you can clean, there's a way to clean oil stains, but that is a thing for sure.
They're so glaring when it's there.
They are, yeah.
So you want to just remove empty planters, put away hoses, put away electric cords, clean up the shrubs and bushes and have it all presented, ready to go. Put away any broken lawn furniture, things like that aren't going to show very well. And when the photographer comes, their job is to make it look great from different angles. Their job isn't to tell you, hey, we need to clear this counter off now. So can you help me? Because they may not take the time to clear the clutter that is going to make your house shine. So there's the quick snippet of getting your house ready for photography.
Can I add one more thing to your list? I just occurred to me because I was thinking about when I used to do the Matterport photography. So Matterport is the technology that we used to do the three-dimensional 360 scan of the house. So the way this thing works is it's on a tripod. You set it in the middle of the room and it spins around and takes the scan of the property. Sometimes when you're doing photography, obviously you're framing one direction and you can move stuff out of the way while you're framing that shot and then move it back while you're framing the next shot. You can't get away with that with the 360. The entire space, all 360 degrees needs to be clear and
photos.
Ready for those scans. And of course, today more than ever, those 360 scans are critical in marketing the property because so many people are spending so much more time online looking at the homes online versus in person before they come out and visit the home.
So there it is.
There it is.
How to
Great
get
topic.
your house ready for photos.
Great topic, Tracy. Yeah, I think that's great. So go ahead.
We had a problem of the week.
Yeah, this is a new thing for us. We were talking about this the other day, or a couple weeks ago, Tracy, and it's like we're always, our job as realtors, it seems like we're fixers, right?
Fixers and counselors.
We're counselors and fixers meaning, our job is to fix all the little problems that come up through, selling your home through the transaction. You're like, well, we should talk about the problem of the week.
Well, this week's problem of the week, we had a client that needed us to go and run out to their property, and they wanted us to unplug their hot tub. And when you search unplugging your hot tub for the winter, there's a lot to that, right? It's not just unplug, right? And so if you just unplug it and you leave all the water in the pump and the motor and the pipes and they all freeze, you're going to have broken pipes and motor.
You're going to have big problems.
You're going to have a big problem.
Yeah.
So in general, the answer was leave your hot tub on a low temperature and keep it moving unless you're going to drain it properly. Now, Tego knows about this problem firsthand, right, Tego? This happens to
do
us.
Do we need to go here?
So the other problem
let's change the subject.
this resonated for me because we have purchased more than one pump for our irrigation well. Because it gets cold and the pump is sitting there with water in it.
It wore out just because it had a big crack in it because the water froze in it.
So, Tego, the reality is you can save people from having a broken motor on their pumps that are sitting with water right now out in the cold because it has been cold and that water freezes and expands and it breaks metal.
It does.
Right?
It does. It creates all types of havoc. And, it's finally gotten really cold here in the last week, first week of December here. And yeah, you get, if you haven't figured it out yet, if you didn't, winterize your cooler, you probably have some broken lines. If you didn't winterize your swimming pool equipment or pumps or anything like that. So just keep it in mind. And winterizing any type of, hot tub or swimming pool it has to be done right, or you're just going to be fixing problems come next spring and spending a lot of money. So
there you go.
I think it's a really
it's
good
a good
one.
lesson, right? So we have a few new homes that we really need to talk about. We're running out of time. We have like 3 minutes. Homes of the week.
We need every new home that we can get. On the market right now.
We have one, 622 Ranchitos in the North Valley in Los Ranchos.
Yep.
Grand open house tomorrow from 1 to 3. We are, doing that safely. There's a sign out front. You have to call the cell phone number of the agents inside to say, is it okay if I come in? Because we're limiting the people in the house. So that one's 622 Ranchitos. It's $399.9. It was a very small adobe, I believe, at one point, and a huge addition. So it's been modernized and, gosh, I almost think there's a swimming pool there, but I'm not sure.
Oh, no.
I guess I could have you look. Another one, 1633 Princeton, is going active today. And that one's right by UNM South, right? UNM. And then another one, 6215 Basil, which will be going active tomorrow. And that's an interesting property. It's a brand new construction, less than a year old, from Pulte Homes. Unfortunately, the sellers have been relocated, and so they're reselling the house they just closed on a couple months ago. And really awesome Pulte floor plan on the west side. One you don't want to miss.
Yeah.
So.
Can I just share a couple national highlights or headlines from this week? One, this one's getting a little old, which is mortgage interest rates are lower again, all-time low again. Right. Mortgage applications are still very strong. So, you think about the home buying process, or at least tracking market data. You look at, okay, how many people applied for a mortgage, and then how many homes went pending, and then, closed, right? So there's a whole progression, and mortgage application have stayed very strong. So there's no indication of buyer demand slipping. And honestly, I had this conversation with somebody, it's going to take mortgage rates going up substantially. And when I say substantially, probably over 4 before we really see a downtick in the demand. The reality is there's this whole demographic shift going on in the country for the millennial cohort, and the demand is out there, and we just don't see that letting up. The other big headline this week, and this has to do with the whole forbearance, foreclosure, delinquency. So there's a large group of homeowners right now in the United States that are, I'm going to say, air quote, delinquent on their mortgage. Most of those people, though, are in these forbearance plans. And so these are these workouts with the mortgage companies to allow them to basically put a pause on their mortgage payments and then pick up when they're ready. And what's happened is they've extended the mortgage forbearance plan, again, kind of kicking it down the road. And, it's not necessarily a good thing, but the reality is it wasn't the forbearance plan, it was the foreclosure moratorium, which means that those people that were in foreclosure moratorium are still there. So there's no foreclosures happening, which actually we could probably use some. I'll just leave it there, Eddie. That's kind of a bit that would open up a whole Pandora's box talking about how we could use some more foreclosures, but that's I probably don't need to go there.
And 622 Ranchitos Northwest does have a swimming pool. It's $399.5 and it's 2,540 square feet. And then the house on Princeton that's coming soon, tomorrow, it's $185,000. So what a great opportunity in the UNM area. So got to jump on that one.
That very often.
Well, you saw my data under 200,000. We're at 0.3 months supply of homes on the market. Basically
448-8888. That's 448-8888 or welcomehomeabq.com. That's welcomehomeabq.com. Make sure you follow Tego on Facebook. He does a great job of keeping you up to date.
Twitter also.
Is it Twitter? Okay.
Yeah,
what's your Twitter handle?
Just at Tego Venturi.
At Tego Venturi. There it is.
Easy
it's
enough.
not easy.
Yeah.
All right. Back same time, same place next week, right here in the Kiva with our favorite real estate agents and your real estate experts, Tego and Tracy Venturi, the Venturi Real Estate Group from Keller Williams Realty. 448-8888. WelcomeHomeABQ.com. Stay tuned. We're going to rescue that credit with Mike Ramos. That's
I never needed anybody's help in any way. Now these days are gone. I'm not so self